Charlie Parker, nicknamed Bird, was the probably most influential player of the bebop era. His solos were wonderfully melodic and very different than anybody had heard previous to him, and because of that he became a very copied player and a very iconic player, and his musical language has become the language of bebop. So there's lots of his pet phrases or cliches that he played that we're going to take a look at in this Birdisms series. And today we'll look at the first one. There's a PDF file that goes along with this, so email me at pete@petamarpress.com and request the PDF file, Birdisms #1. Birdisms #1 is a phrase where Parker would hit a note of the chord, drop down a diatonic sixth in the scale he was playing. So that basically just means 6 notes in that scale. Then ascend an arpeggio before descending that scale again. He would ascend 3 notes in an arpeggio. That would place him on a note of the scale, and then he would start descending again. So if we look at that in example number 1 against a C7 chord, Bird descends to a third of the C7. Excuse my printer here making noises. So Bird descends to the third of a C7. He jumps down a diatonic sixth, so that's 6 notes of the C7 scale or the F major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That lands on a G. So hits the third of the C7, the E note, jumps down to G, then ascends a C9. So that would be G, B flat, D, and then keeps descending, and in this case the C dominant bebop scale, C, B, B flat. So all of this is out of a C7 chord and a C dominant bebop scale. If the term bebop scale is new, you might want to look up what that is. You could easily go download one of the book I did on bebop scales from www.jazz-mandolin.com. I play example 1 here. Example 1, C7, F7. Example 2 is exactly the same as example 1, except when Parker ascends the arpeggio, instead of playing 5, flat 7, and 9, he plays 5, flat 7, and flatted 9. Very interesting sound. So I play example 2 here. Example 2, C7, F7. In example 3, he plays into the flat 7 of a dominant 7 chord, descends a diatonic sixth, and then comes up with through the arpeggio 9, 11, and 13. I play example 3 here. Example 3, C7, F7. In example 4, Parker plays into the flat 3 of a minor 7 chord, does the same descending, goes all the way down a diatonic 6th again, and then comes up with the 9th arpeggio before continuing the scale down. I play example 4 here. Example 4, C minor 7. F minor 7. Note that the C minor 7 phrase in example 4 is exactly the same as the F7 phrase in example 3. Bebop players view minor 7 chords as dominant 7 chords a fifth away. So in other words, a C minor 7 and an F7 are almost an identical sound, and you can very much play F7 ideas against C minor 7. This is 2 minor 7, 5 7, and it's one of the most common chord substitutions there is. You should read up on some music theory and some chord substitution if you don't know what I mean, but it's a very, very common thing in jazz. Now, to get these melodic phrases into your playing, I suggest practicing these phrases in all keys. I take exercise number 1, starting on C7, and play it all the way through the circle of fifths on dominant 7 progressions in example 5. I would suggest taking the other examples and learn them around the circle of fifths like you did with example 1. I hope you've enjoyed learning this Charlie Parker idea. Subscribe to my channel to keep abreast of all the latest videos, and especially more in this Parkerisms series. I'm Pete Martin. Thanks for watching.